What's up, everyone? Aubrey Trades here, coming at you with a weekly trade recap. Before we get into that, though, let's cover some pretty interesting things from this past week. FLGC going absolutely nutty, all the way to a high of $15. BTBT, beautiful uptrend here. Breaking out of this nice consolidation pattern from late July onto new highs, pushing almost all the way as into the 20s. Man, all tickers that I have been outlining in my pre-market videos, I'm trying to stick and get better at finding big picture opportunities. Works, another one that we've been outlining as a good bounce, falling from this crazy gap up, but basing, uptrending, gave us a nice third day surge on Friday that I did not capitalize on at all. And big winner FLGC, I also barely capitalized on at all, which is why I'm like, man, this system works even with me just botching my way through things. Now, that's a great segue to get into some of the annoying losses. EVK. Oh, EVK. Let's enable the show trades feature. EVK did me pretty dirty, and the big loss day. So here we had a little bit of a winner, EVK. I like being awake before 4 a.m. because a lot of times some of these runners start spiking right after 4 a.m. I think that's when a lot of the big box brokers, start allowing trades through their platforms or something. I don't know, whatever. But grabbed this 20 shares from 465 to 480. That was great. Let this cool off. But later on, after it kind of been fading, we were thinking EVK was bouncing off of this line here. I thought third day surge, could go as high as, the 380s just based on this action. I was late. I wasn't looking for it. I saw it brought up in a chat room and I bought literally the top freaking wick, right? And I arbitrarily sized in. With 300 shares, completely ignoring the entire premise of my system, where I would go buying here at 360, and I'm thinking, okay, well, if I'm buying at 360, I gotta be able to risk here. I gotta be able to risk 329. So I need to size in according to that space. But no. And you know what? That's that size in, right? Let's say call it 330. Let's call it 30 cents a share. $20 risk divided by 30 cents a share. 66 shares is what I should have been buying at that level. Instead, 300. Because I'm thinking, I can go to 380. Stupid. That's FOMO. That is a FOMO size. Right? If I took the 66 shares and hold through this, I'm like, okay, my risk isn't hit yet because I'm risking 350. No, I didn't say 350. What did I say? 330, right? 330's down here. Bam. I'm chilling. Oh, now let me add, spend another $20 bullet, but now you're at 7 cents risk. So $20 divided by 7 cents of risk, that's 285 shares now that I can carry for this follow-through move instead of the 60 that I'm buying up here. Feel? And anyway, I had no business buying this high anyway. Gotta anticipate this pullback or just sit and watch. So that was it. And because I was sized in for this 300 shares, I immediately was like, oh shoot, what's 20, I backed into what's $20 risk with 300 shares. Oh man. And I realized I was like, I'm gonna cut the loss because this loss is like a $40-something loss. I'm down, 2R on this one trade because I sized in stupidly, and then was able to size in appropriately here on this push. I probably risking like the bottom of this candle, which would have given me 100 shares. That looks about right. And then I get off on this little pop. Too soon, I might add. What? I'm getting out at 59, and this popped to 63. And I don't know, depending on the one minute, what that looked like. I don't think it matters much. I don't care. We're gonna move on. So that was that boneheaded loss. I want to look at the other boneheaded loss. That was a $42 loss total, right? Next largest loss, only $12, and that's on BYSI. This was the big gapper, right? And I just completely botched this. I find myself really liking back halves, right? Because after this does nothing but fail day one, right? Then day two, there's a great like pseudo third day surge. The only difference is that this, was a gapping crap, just kind of like faded and whatever. But once it had a day two where it just chilled here and established this base even all through the afters, on day three when it starts to perk, and I started this, I didn't size in stupidly on this trade, but what happens was I sold before my risk was hit. So I see this perk and it's holding this, and I'm like, let me buy. I'm sized in for the bottom of the candle. So I'm sized in for 22.50, right? Where do I sell? 23.53 here. When it's not, this candle's not green at this point when I'm selling. This candle is like 23.53. It's like going red. And I'm like, okay, let me get out, because I had a couple other trades that were working. So I'm like, let me cut the loser, right? But if that caused me to take this $10 loss, and then I re-entered here at 27.88, and then because I was FOMOing, right? And then I'm out 27.58, and at this point, 10 shares, like I'm sizing in appropriately for what the risk level is, but I'm cutting some like, Trey, you're an idiot, what are you doing? Like, right? I had a brief moment of upside, but in my head I'm still looking for this push to 30, which, surprise surprise, if I had only, like, if someone knocked me out and I took a 2-hour nap, but anyway, the whole point is this was unnecessary, and had I just held this position, and even like the better thing would have been, okay, and first of all, with 8 shares here, did I size in for it? I think I might have sized in for $10 risk. If it's $10 risk and I'm buying at 28, 24, 2, 3, 4. Let's say I was giving myself rounded to $2 risk, right? 20 divided by $2 risk. So I'm like size somewhere halfway between $20 risk and $10 risk. So I'm erring on the small side of the $20 risk just because I know that there's some way to go. I could have given myself another bullet, right? If I know I'm risking this is my level, and I'm seeing this dip, you could fire off another bullet here and then play the ramp up. But instead, I'm selling too soon. So that's fine. Like that lesson is respect the risk level. That's what that lesson is. And don't get so short-sighted. If I'm thinking there's a bigger move capable, and clearly this time there was, right? And 2250 wasn't hit at any point today. Like, that actually was a great risk level. Anyway, moving on, let's go to a couple of the things that I did correctly. NAOV. And NAOV was happening on the same day of my EVK trade. That's what made that a small red day. Because I saw the potential for this. If we go to daily chart here, That's why I don't like having the trades showing, because on the daily chart it just starts looking messy. But we had this run up. Let's get rid of it. So we have this run up, fade. Now we start kind of coiling back. We had this bit of a bounce. Now we're fading, and I'm wondering, okay, if we're over 2, if we're gonna bounce over 2, 250 is the next zone to watch, and we might do this recoil action. Well, it becomes one of those days. I'm like, okay. Is it this day? Sometimes it gets screwy. Yeah, that was really screwy. Okay, so now, go over here. And these were my 2 trades. That went well. So I see we're on the way here. And I'm sizing in, I got 100 shares at 236. I'm risking 30, I'm risking 6 cents a share. And I know we got this upside. Sell out at 246 or 242, 243, whatever. So like, not as, whatever. I missed it, I was late, but I did it right. I sized in appropriately. And then here, 240, we're gonna test it again. 400 shares, tighter risk. Selling in the push to 445, realizing that I'm close to the top and not being terribly patient, just really getting it off. And then coming back later into the day, seeing, oh, okay, it's gonna go. It had this fail, right? Retraced, come back. I'm like, oh, okay. And, it seems like mornings are typically better, so I'm pretty, I don't necessarily want to trade in the afternoon. But I see this happening, I'm like, oh, okay, here's that breakout, here's 250. I'm gonna add, and I had this so planned out. Here's 250, I'm gonna add on, after I see the confirm, right? You break, you confirm, you have 500 more shares at 53. Because now it's like, okay, well, 53, you could, the next line is at $3, Now, I don't know that it's gonna go there, but, it wants to play around. So then I push into the, I sell into the push here. It ended up hitting 62. And this was like a weenie baby. Because it goes up to 58, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's not gonna, I'm thinking 10-cent increments, so I'm like, it's gonna struggle at 60. Crap, okay, I'm out while it's still profit. When, if I waited, the push to 60 was stronger than I thought it might be. But not really, because it only lasted for 5 minutes, and then we kind of dipped back down to the close. So, all in all, not mad at it. And once I know, once it's on the backside, I'm not anticipating, I'm still seeing this as a bearish chart. So I think pushing out to 3, that's like a whole day. In fact, I think it's better that this worked out and we had a chilled out day for Friday, because that means if we open Monday and we're pushing that 250 area again, if we open Monday and we're back here, bullish. That could see a move to 3, but we're just solidly in the middle, which solidly in the middle is fine because we were solidly here in the bottom. So the fact that we're we got ourselves almost there. Still gonna be a watch for next week, I think, especially for that situation. Next biggest winner though is DRNG. This is OTC trade. OTC trades, we know, have been the focus, or are going to be the focus at this point. Exactly according to plan, buying on a dip off the highs. and selling a little too soon, way too soon, but at least we made some money. So buying at 10.04 after the, selling was confirmed to be over. Was looking for this push to new highs, but didn't work quite as well as anticipated. If we can scroll. Oh, it has to be the 5-minute. There we go. That shows it a little bit better. Dip, buying on the confirm. Thought this was, I was expecting the breakout past, but we didn't take it. So sold, ended up wanting to push for a later afternoon move. But even then, like, it took us another hour, I think, or two, I don't know, to get past this. So we almost fell right back to the dip zone. The better angle, I guess, was waiting for this. But you don't know that this is happening, right? I'm like, oh. But at this point, I was done. I was like, okay, I made $40 net on this trade. That's fine. So OTC is working, but the when I'm trading my system on the listed stocks, has the potential to work. NAOV did well. Other winners were like AHPI for a $16 win, and this was like small shares, set a wide risk and just let it do its thing. Both, like, each time this worked out. So I'm excited about this. And this was like, I put these on in pre-market, and then I start dealing with some other trade. I want to be like more active, and I just kind of let these run in the background, and these end up working. And another one I was proud of was IEG. I've been calling this out as a bounce idea. Look at this daily chart in this corner, like just completely beaten down. Thinking, okay, this has to bounce, and look at it. We got the bounce, and I almost nailed it, right? 267. I was in late, so late, but I was able to profit. That's because I didn't set the bait early. That should have been the move, set the bait early, like what I did with AHPI. And we're here. I set my bait, and I'm like, let me risk, I don't know, risk this pre-market low, 38. 10-cent risk or whatever, I don't know, could work. That's the theory, that's how I wanna play it. Anyway, thanks for sticking around if you've stuck around. Those are my thoughts, that was my performance. Not bad at all. If I can just get rid of some of the boneheaded mistakes, I think we can do even better. Maybe I can end next week with $200. Wouldn't that be great? Still sticking with $20 risk. Just stay disciplined, stay focused. Good luck, everyone. Let me know in the comments below what you've noticed with yourself and what you're doing to improve your win rate or trading strategies overall. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep studying. I'll catch you in the next video. Aubrey out.